Have you ever sat down and calculate how much rent you've paid during your entire life? If you've done that, you will faint. There is no way you will not faint. Because if I'm being honest, if rent was a contribution plan, by now some of us would have bought land, not even land, duplex in either Ikoyi or Lekki Fission. But here is the gist. What if I told you there is a way you can, pay your rent and still end up owning that house? It's not Yahoo. It's not Godwin. It is something called rent to own. You see, rent to own is that sweet middle ground between I can't afford it and I actually own it. And today we're gonna break it down. By the end of this video, you understand how rent to own works in Nigeria, the hidden traps nobody talks about, how to spot fake offers, and most importantly, if it's the right move for you. All right, let's start simple. Rent to own simply means you rent a property first, but you have the option to buy it later. It's like dating your dream home before proposing marriage. Now you're saying, okay, let me test it small. Let me see if it's sweet. If it's sweet, I'm gonna commit. You pay rent the way normal tenants pay their rent, but the twist here is that some of the rent goes towards you owning or buying that house. So you're not just wasting money, you are investing in a home you might own later. Now, in Nigeria, this stuff is actually becoming quite popular because, let's be honest, is it buying a house outright, like bringing out 15M to just buy a house like that? It's not small change. Like, who has that money sitting pretty in the bank? Uh, some people have it, some of the girls have it. So here is the formula, how the whole thing, works. Okay, so you find a house, or you found the house you like. The developer or the landlord says, okay, you can move in, but you're gonna pay me rent for 3 years. You sign rent to own agreement. In this rent to own agreement, it includes um two things. Let's say one is contract, rental contract. The second one is purchase option. Now you might pay something called option fee. It's usually 1 to 5% of the actual value or price of the house. That is your I am serious money. For example, let's say the house is 50 million. Now the percentage, let's say 5%. So that is 2.5, right? That 2.5 is not the rent money. It is, I am serious about why I'm renting this house. Do not give another person this house, right? Now you have the agreement that, okay, you're going to be paying 3 million naira per year for 3 years. Out of that 3 million naira, let's say 500K will go towards buying the house. So after 3 years, let's say you've been able to save 1.5 million naira through your rental credit plus the 2.5 million naira from the option fees. That is a total of 4 million naira. You can now use that 4 million naira to reduce the 50 million naira purchase price. So basically, you're paying rent, but at the same time, you're buying the house. Isn't that sweet? That is awesome. Now, let's talk real talk. You see this rent to own thing, right? It's like a jollof rice buffet. If you don't know the rules, you will serve yourself wahala. One, option fee. You see that option fee. If you maybe eventually didn't buy the house at the end of the whole thing, or the years, or something came up, something like that. You see that option fee, Otilo. Even the rental credit, Otilo too, has vanished, no refund to even start with. Two, maintenance. On in a normal rental, the landlord, if maybe something is leaking, maybe a ceiling or something is leaking, you can call the landlord, this thing is leaking, come, fix it. But in rent to own, if you call the landlord will tell you, might tell you, and you are the future owner of this house. Take care of it now, fix it. Like that, the money is eating the pocket. Three, price is fixed. The purchase price is usually fixed at the end of the beginning of the whole thing. So if the price eventually goes up, lucky you. But if the price crashes, you might just be paying for overvalued house. Imagine agreeing to buy the house for 15 million naira. Then after 3 years, market value dropped to like let's say 40 million naira. You can't tell landlord or developer, please come, let's renegotiate this thing. We'll just laugh at you in 3 to 4. Scammers, scammers, scammers. This is Nigeria, where somebody, an agent, can sell that same particular house for you to 3 different persons and still sleep well at night. So please, before you do anything, verify it with a real estate lawyer. Very important. Now, this purchase is not for everyone. You should consider rent to own if you have a steady income but not enough savings for a lump sum purchase. If you're tired of wasting rent every day with nothing to show, if you're confident that yes, you can afford the price of this property within the set time or some days, or if you have the money but you're just destroying the community to see how the neighborhood functions or is. But if you're the type that relocates every 6 months because Lagos traffic is stressing you, don't disturb yourself, don't stress yourself, just rent normally. Do that. Now, let's bring this home. Some big developers in Nigeria, especially Lagos and Abuja, are already doing rent to own. You hear names like Lagos State Rent to Own Scheme, Rent Housing, Mr. African, Lagos Homes, and others. For example, under Lagos scheme, civil servants can pay as low as 100,000 naira monthly and eventually own the house after some years. Now, some developers are actually private developers are actually doing it. But the thing is that you need to shine your eyes very, very well. Some of them inflate the prices or have some hidden clauses in the agreement. Like if you sneeze too loudly, we terminate your contract. So always read the fine print. Use a lawyer and confirm the developer's track record. Now, let's summarize this whole rent to own matter. Talking about the pros, you can move in immediately while working or towards ownership. It helps people who are not qualified for mortgage yet, and you are building equity while renting. And for the cons, you could lose your option fee if you end up not buying the house later on. You can equally pay higher. The rent may be higher. You are taking on maintenance like the actual owner or the home owner. And lastly, you need to trust the developer. But trust is something that is very, very hard to do in Nigeria. So my people, rent to own is not magic, it is strategy. If done right, it is one of the smartest ways to go from renting to landlord without waiting for like 10 days to save up the money. But if done wrong, you will just end up as a tenant who paid more for rent. So before you jump into rent to own, please get a lawyer. Read every clause. Calculate your finance like EFCC. Now, if you found this video helpful, please, I am begging, help to hit that subscribe button, like and share. Bye for now.